I'm going to show you the best chess analysis in the world. This is definitely the top shelf, creme de la creme. I just uploaded the Fausti games, the second best video I've ever seen. But this is my favorite because the dude he's an alien. So let's just look at it a little bit.
Today, a great win. Tell us about the game.
Okay, so my preparation was okay. I will just play e4 and then we'll see.
Preparation e4, and we will see. Well, he knows so much theory.
Happened, okay. And when she chose French game, okay, so knight c3 is too aggressive, so knight d2 more solid.
Why is knight c3 too aggressive? Knight d2 solid? Okay.
Then she took with that queen. Okay, I started to think, okay, main theory knight b5. I played myself this, and Magnus played this against Caruana when Caruana just missed a piece on a6. But okay, I think
it can happen to anyone.
Okay, I need to create something new. So I start to think, okay, maybe knight df3. Okay, maybe not the best move, but at least looks solid.
You gotta play a6 here. I think I would be very paranoid about this b5 square personally. And it starts to look like a Sicilian, right? Some kind of normal position.
So I decide knight f3. Okay. Black has white choice here. Okay, very natural to play a6, for example, because bishop can be from f8 can develop it to d6 or c5. Okay, up to next moves. But she played bishop e7. I didn't want hurry with c4. Okay, but bishop d3 is natural, but okay, I started to think that e5 is possible, something very sharp. I started to calculate.
I mean, you gotta be really deep to do this. I mean, if you see e5, e4 coming, a lot of people would just stop right there and sort of think about something else. But Ivanchuk is so deep.
Okay, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. Okay, it's my estimation. Position is very complicated, but at least it will be something interesting at the board when if she will choose e5, of course. Okay, I play bishop d3. Of course, black can play, for example, castle, a6, something solid position. But she started to think long time and played e5. Now, many interesting things. So knight b5, of course, castle e4, knight c3 more or less forced, queen c6.
You might be asking yourself what was happening with, let's just look at this position real quick. Castles, knight b5, what's going on here? Okay, well, we won't get too carried away.
So knight b5, of course, castle.
Yes, now you might be asking yourself what's happening here with knight c7. There is queen a5 check and takes on c7. Just you gotta ask yourself these questions.
Castle e4, knight c3 more or less forced, queen c6 also only move, because if queen f5, knight takes e4 and queen e2, so queen c6. But now I had choice. I have seen that I had choice. It's because rook e1 was interesting alternative. If takes on d3, rook takes e7. At least I have safe position. But okay, I was not sure about bishop b4. And I considered, firstly, I considered idea bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, knight d5.
You got to be worried about your rook on e7. Bishop e6 comes, that rook might never see the light of day.
It doesn't work because rook d8. Okay, so I started to consider exchange sacrifice. Rook takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, or bishop takes e4. Both I calculated everywhere, not clear position. Okay, so I decide to play what I played. So I played. I played knight d4, then I took on e4. Okay, I calculated if rook d8, bishop e3, takes on b2, queen d3. Okay, my estimation, complicated position, very unclear position, but okay, white has good development, so.
He's doing this, he's thinking out loud, folks. There's no board in front of him. This is just all from memory. Piece of cake.
I hope at least I am not worse. And suddenly I realized I made move and my pawn on b2 hanging. Suddenly I realized there is very interesting idea. Knight takes e4, knight takes e4. And now not take on b2. And not played knight c6. Knight c6 is possible, but I just taken on c6, queen c6, knight d2. Black has compensation. Okay, enough for equal. Typical Marshall compensation, but okay, at least I have pawn up and I am not risky too much. But I started to calculate f5. Firstly, it was shock for me.
It's a shock for me. You're going to be coming out with this f-pawn. Meanwhile, she's going down to gobble on b2. I wouldn't have been thinking about that at all. That seems very dangerous when all your pieces are on the back rank. Go pawn hunting down there. Not recommended.
What to do? My knight is hanging, and if I go with knight, f4 is coming. I didn't see it before. Okay, I started to calculate f5, knight takes f5, bishop takes f5, bishop b8, bishop b6, rook takes d1, rook takes d1, a takes b6. And now c3, smart move.
It's very smart.
If bishop takes e4, rook e1. But unfortunately, not so good, because rook a4, b3, rook a3, rook takes e4, knight c6. And probably even black is better, because a2 pawn is weak. Okay, so I don't like something wrong. And suddenly I was happy. I find brilliant idea. After f5, I have knight d2. So the more, according to my experience in chess, the most difficult in chess is to see moves with knight back. So
it's true. Those knight jump backs, those are the hardest ones to see. Roman Zinji really showed me a problem one day. It's from his favorite game, his best combination, that knight hopping back. I don't know why I mentioned it.
d2 idea, if f4, I have knight f5. And if bishop c5, knight e7 check. And if f takes e3, knight takes e7 check, and then take on c8. But the most brilliant after knight d2, if rook takes d4, looks like good. c3, rook takes d2. But instead c3, queen e1, very smart move.
It is a very smart move, queen e1, because if you try bishop c5 to break the pin, you use bishop takes rook, bishop takes bishop, and queen e8 checkmate to the king.
On d4 and take on e7. And another threat is c3, and black cannot defend everything. I was so happy with such trap, and I was lucky because
I'm not happy. I'm depressed listening to this analysis.
After f5 could be trouble for me. But okay, she played differently. She lost a lot of time, but okay, she played took on b2. Okay, it was possible also knight takes e4 first. Knight takes e4, takes on b2. I considered this like more or less solid.
I mean, if you're going to go pawn grabbing, you might as well trade more pieces, so perhaps less harassment ensues.
Fine for black. Because after queen b2, queen d3, if knight takes e4 may be possible too, but now I can consider also taking with queen. not only with knight. So maybe probably was more precise, just knight takes e4 and queen takes b2. But okay, she took on b2, immediately queen d3, knight a6, this more or less I expected. Rook b1. Okay, bishop f3 immediately was possible, but knight b4, and if queen c4, knight takes c2, I didn't find nothing concrete there. Okay, so I started with rook b1, queen a3, and now bishop f3.
I mean, I'm surprised you didn't gobble that bishop, honestly. I mean, you sort of want to get rid of that light bishop, right? In general.
Okay, position is very interesting, and I was very happy to see knight c5. I consider in this position like bishop b4. It's like main line, and I wasn't sure that I'm better here. For example, if rook b3, idea knight c5. Rook takes a3, knight takes d3. If rook b3, bishop takes c3, rook takes c3, knight e5. And attacking my bishop on f3, if bishop come back, knight d5 is coming, and everything's okay for black. So probably it was the best. Okay, I considered another moves like knight a4, but I didn't find advantage. So, but she played knight c5, okay, queen c4, she played bishop d7, and now she left on her clock only 5 minutes.
This is the most amazing part of the whole game. Listen to this part right here.
I had 1 hour, 15 minutes.
I have 1 hour and 15 minutes. These games start with an hour and 30 minutes, folks. An hour and 30. He did all this calculation in 15 minutes. That means that whole thing that with the f5, f4 business, with the knight d2 and the queen e1, he calculated all that in like 5 minutes. Okay? This is the most depressing video I've ever seen. Because, I mean, I don't know if you feel like a chess player. Are you a chess player? Because I don't feel like I'm a player anymore. I played one professional player. Like, I played zillions of grandmasters, right? But then I played Kirill Georgiev, and that was a monster. I've talked about him in other videos. There's a level difference that's like a level up when you go up to the top pros. And this guy was number 2 in the world 3 times or something. So you can understand why I'm going to the pub after I watch this video.
Okay, and I started to think, and very big choice. I don't know what is really best. So
I know what's best. You can play poker, then you can hang all your pieces, and sometimes it works out.
So not knight c5, she played knight b4. Queen c4, bishop d7. If knight c5, queen c4, of course, I am better. At least I consider this position like I am better, because if bishop g4, bishop b7 takes with rook. If rook c8, I have knight c6. So I considered this must be better for me. After knight b4, I started to think.
He started to think. After knight b4, he started to think.
Okay, I'm not sure. I played knight cb5 with idea bishop f4. I was sure about queen a5, also maybe queen a4 is possible, I don't know. But then after
Alien.
bishop f4, okay, I started to play reasonable moves, but also follow her clock. So I tried, if I have possibility to make quickly 2 or 3 moves, I do it, and always she was in time trouble. Okay, probably it wasn't the most precise way, but okay, I at least check not miss something very primitive, and then okay, I realize my advantage.
Big up to Lei Ting Lei for getting all the way to this point just down a pawn. Can you imagine? You're playing basically human stockfish. You're down a pawn here, and you got to realize a small advantage. I mean, it's clear advantage.
Amazing. Vasily, now listening to you talk about your game, I get the feeling that you truly enjoyed and were feeling very happy while playing today's game.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this was beautiful. I don't know how I feel about it. To me, I mean, this is just ludicrous. I mean, that he did all this in 15 minutes. Just let him talk a little bit more.
True, yes.
And you mentioned that you're almost sad that there's only one more game left in this tournament.
Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true.
I'm sad
Why do you
too.
feel like that?
Okay,
We're
I
finally
want
on the same page with the sadness.
to play some more interesting games. Today it was only a game which I like. Okay, I didn't check with computer, maybe it were some mistakes, but at least it was something creative. I have seen some interesting things. The games, okay, sometimes pure technical, sometimes primitive mistakes, not so interesting for me.
So for you, the
Look at this guy. Okay, he's a hero. He deserves a platter of cheese and fruit, a trip to the Blue Lagoon. I mean, you know, a date with Charlize Theron, something. I mean, just give this guy something for this. Look, what a beautiful human being, Vasily Ivanchuk. I'm in awe of this analysis, and wow, wow. Yep. Okay, folks. Good luck to you out there.